Well, here's a nice post from the Tennis TV Instagram account. An intriguing question they have here. The Wimbledon final shall be blank versus blank. Well, at the top, we have Medvedev and the defending champion, Carlitos Alcaraz. That's an interesting question in itself because look at this. This is a great post. States the obvious, but let's take a look at it. The Big Three account says, what is this from? The Twitters. Congrats, Medvedev. You've beaten the world number one, Yannick Sinner. Now you get to face the most recent Grand Slam champion, winning at the French Open, of course, Carlos Alcaraz, to earn a spot in the final. Oh, and if you beat him, this most recent Grand Slam champion, also let's add in the defending champion here at Wimbledon, you'll need to then beat the greatest player of all time to win the title. That's Novak Djokovic, of course. Back to this. Novak Djokovic, no guarantee he's going to be there in the final, right? Well, maybe it is. Let's take a look at Musetti because he's Medvedev's kind of a shock appearance here over Sinner. But Musetti, even more so of a shock, 22-year-old Lorenzo Musetti, who arrived on the grass season with a negative win-loss record in 2024. He's got a losing record this year. He has now completely turned his year around. He beats Taylor Fritz 3-6. What were we saying again? That this was a shock? He beats Taylor Fritz. I'm not too shocked all of a sudden. What is it about this sentence that makes me not feel shocked anymore? Oh, maybe it's the fact that Taylor Fritz is in it. He beats Taylor Fritz 3-6, 7-6, 6-2, 3-6, 6-1 to reach his first Grand Slam semifinal at the Wimbledon. It's not his first semifinal at Wimbledon. It's his first semifinal ever, is what it appears to state there. Musetti took out Taylor Fritz. Not as big of a shock as Yannick Sinner going down, although we've seen Yannick Sinner look fragile in the past at times. I'm not 100% sure what happened to him. I know Darren Cahill, the coach, has said that if they were a team sport, if tennis was a team sport, they would have put him on the rest list for that day, and they were very confident he would have been good to go the next day. So maybe it was his stomach was bothering him. That's a thing that sometimes happens in tennis matches. It can be pretty devastating if it hits you at the wrong time. And then, of course, he had some cramping. Sinner has had cramps in matches and still gone on to win. But maybe it was all too much. We'll take a look at what he said later in the show. But like I said, it's no shock that Taylor Fritz has blown another great opportunity to do something in his career. So who will it be? Will it be Lorenzo Musetti? He's already done something amazing and turned his career around. Novak Djokovic is not at 100%. And will it be Medvedev or Alcaraz, who beat Medvedev here at Wimbledon last year quite easily? Medvedev didn't win a set, didn't win many games for that matter. How are things going to shake out differently this year? We'll talk all about that. But if I have to go with an answer, we'll go to this picture. Check out these guys. They spotted each other on the practice courts. And who knows what they said, but if I had to venture a guess, I think they might have said, hey, nice seeing you. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Novak? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just out here hitting with my kid. By the way, take a look at this. Djokovic takes an overhead. Ball comes back. There's Djokovic's son. He's coming in, setting up for a really sweet-looking forehand. Pretty nice-looking. But back to this. He said, yeah, I'm just out here hitting with my son, Carlitos Alcaraz. So what are you doing? Carl's like, oh, yeah, I'm just practicing, getting ready for my semifinal. And Djokovic says, all right, that's great. I'll see you later, man. And Carlos says, yeah, I'll see you on Sunday. Welcome to the Coffee Break Tennis Late Night, right before the Wimbledon semifinals podcast. This week has been wild for me. I am totally drained and exhausted. But at the end of the day, I love doing this show. I love watching Wimbledon. I love watching tennis. And I love put this on the screen. We didn't mention this in the intro. I mean, we did mention it. Yeah, it feels like Alcaraz-Djokovic final is what's going to happen here. Although I got to give a lot of credit to Medvedev, and I think Medvedev's got a great shot to win tomorrow, or at the very least, he's going to do much better than he did last year here at the Wimbledons. Taking a look at this, though, Novak Djokovic, he is playing for a lot, and I love watching Djokovic because I love the big three, and hey, it's sad, but let's face it, This is the end of the big three is very near, and there's only one guy left who's keeping the story going. It is the greatest story in sports ever told, the tale of the big three tennis players. Anyway, so of course I'm here to see Djokovic, and he is playing for a lot here because Roger Federer recently said he hopes Djokovic continues breaking all of the records. Well, I wonder, does he want Djokovic to break this one here? 8 records is the lead here. Yes, Nadal only has 2, but remember, Federer and Djokovic, they don't have too many French Opens. So we'll say that in Rafa's defense, and 2's pretty good for Rafa at Wimbledon, a place where many people would not have expected him to win, being a clay court specialist that they thought he was in the early years. Anyways, 12 finals. It's a lot of finals that Roger Federer lost here. 3 of them, of course, coming to Novak Djokovic, and one of them coming to the man all the way to the right of the screen. Djokovic, 9 finals in Wimbledon. Where did he lose? You got to think about it a little bit. He lost to Andy Murray, and then, of course, he lost to Carlos Alcaraz, who he could be facing in the finals. He's got the win percentage, 89.7%, not too far ahead of Roger, but definitely ahead. Roger's got them both beat by a lot in the wins versus top 10. Most appearances by Roger. That'll explain why Djokovic has the win percentage. Djokovic's win percentage will go up even a little higher if he can win it here. Not much. I would like to see the math on that. Maybe it goes to 89.7999 or something like that. But the main thing is he's going to tie Federer with 8. You know Djokovic would love to do that. So he's playing for a lot here. Novak Djokovic absolutely playing for a lot. But I don't know if he can do it because he's obviously not at 100%. He will tell you that himself. Just the fact that he's here where he is, right? Getting the walkover from De Minaur, that's pretty fortunate for Djokovic, coming in off of a meniscus knee surgery. So that's really nice for Djokovic, but I don't know. Is he going to be able to come through Musetti? Yes, I would say very likely. Musetti did a lot, turning his season around on grass, the place you would have at least expected him to do it. But he's been on tour for a little while now. We've seen the potential he's had for years. And it's nice to see a guy, I've seen some stuff out there saying he's the Italian Roger Federer from the backhand down to the hair. I saw that headline somewhere around. And yeah, the way he was able to make Taylor Fritz very uncomfortable with the variety, with the beautiful slice backhand. We saw Dimitrov getting a lot of work out of the slice backhand before he went down. Another person who slipped and got taken out by this tournament. We've had a few now, top players slip and fall and never recover. I'm thinking about those old commercials where it's like, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, that's struck a few times here at Wimbledon this year. But yeah, Djokovic is fortunate to have that. I don't know if it will be enough, and I just want to say he deserves so much credit just for the fact that he has made it this far coming off of the knee surgery. If he does find a way, I mean, he's already the greatest, but anyone who's still trying to make an argument that he's not the greatest, if he comes here, wins Wimbledon with a knee injury, after a knee surgery, and ties Roger Federer in his most special record of all with the 8 Wimbledon titles. I mean, how could anyone try to make any kind of case that this guy isn't the greatest of all time? I want to go to a comment, though. Let's go to this comment right here on the Instagram, Coffee Break Tennis on Instagram. This is from Alex Nulia. Hello, Matt. I love the last show. I really want and think Novak will win, but I give Medvedev an outside chance. Do you think he could tire Djokovic out and win in a final? He has been a great disruptor in the Grand Slams and winning where we thought he would lose. And that's true, this generation that Medvedev is from, they haven't done much. They haven't been able to do much because the big three kept winning late into their 30s. And Medvedev has been, the one who really stands out and has been, as he says, a great disruptor in the Grand Slams. And he proved that again when he took out Jannik Sinner. Yes, I know Jannik Sinner had some kind of issue and probably wasn't 100%, but it doesn't matter because you saw Sinner, as he's done all year when he encounters some problems, he really dug in. And I thought he was going to turn it around and win. He really he dug in and made Medvedev earn that win, which Medvedev did. And let's not forget, Medvedev is one of the smartest guys out there on tour as far as tennis IQ. That's why a lot of people say he's their favorite player to watch. Now you hear that comment more and more when he's winning big matches, and then you hear more so it's Alcaraz is the most exciting player to watch, and for good reason. Alcaraz, as Medvedev said in his presser, Alcaraz can do everything. He can do a little bit of everything. He can come to the net. He's going to do that more than Sinner, and he's more comfortable up there than Sinner, and he's got better hands. He's going to hit the drop shot more than Sinner. Sinner, who worked it into his game, something the team has obviously had him implement here, also on clay as well. It's a great shot to have anywhere, but especially on the clay and the grass, where when you don't see the drop shot coming, it's much harder to gain your footing and get up there quickly. On a hard court, it's easier to survive a good drop shot on a hard court if you don't notice it right away and you're fast. Grass and clay, not so much. It's trickier for sure because you take off too soon and you lose your footing and you slip, and you definitely don't want to slip here at Wimbledon where everyone's getting hurt. So he's got that. He's going to do that more than Sinner, and he's going to be better at it than Sinner. What else is he? He's got one of the best forehands around. He's maybe the best mover. I mean, I guess you'd say Demon Hour is the fastest, but I mean, they're close. Alcaraz's movement is just off the charts. Alcaraz's movement reminds me of young Rafa when he literally could just get any ball, no matter what you did to him. So he's got a lot, and he should be able to beat Medvedev again here, but Medvedev has done a lot to figure out the grass. He's gotten better and better on the grass, and he showed us against Sinner that he's able to adjust. As I said, I hope I would see out of him. He's able to adjust his return position. And, it's funny, if you look at footage of Medvedev from years past, I mean, he was just always so far back, always at the wall, and we still see him back way up to return. But we also have seen him going back to the Australian Open and now here at Wimbledon. We've seen him move in and take the ball very early, and he's proven that he can be one of the best returners on tour doing either one. And that's not always the case for everyone. We saw how much Tsitsipas struggles to try to take the ball early on the return. We saw Taylor Fritz try to do it and not be very successful with it against Zverev. And then, and it's a big advantage for one-handed backhands. But we saw Musetti do it, move in and take the ball very early on the first serve and be able to neutralize Taylor Fritz. That you better believe that made Taylor Fritz crazy, how many times Musetti was able to take a big first serve and just block it back deep into the court and then get into a rally. And, God, man, have you ever seen anyone look so uncomfortable moving around the court? You got to credit Musetti with the shot-making skills that he has to constantly get Taylor Fritz looking slow, unathletic, off balance, not letting Taylor Fritz do what he likes to do on the tennis court at all. So going back to Alex Nilia's comment, he thinks Novak will win, and yeah, I've kind of been thinking that too. That does feel very likely. Soon as I saw him take out Popyrin, I was feeling pretty good about Djokovic's chances against a Fritz or a Zverev. It's a funny thing is he doesn't have to play. Not only did he have to play them, he didn't even have to play a quarterfinal at all. Against Musetti in the semifinal, I don't think he'll be able to stop Djokovic. So Djoker is going to get into the final. I'm a little worried about him in the knee if he does go against, as he pointed out here. If Alcaraz beats Medvedev, I don't think Alcaraz will beat Medvedev unless Alcaraz gets back to the level that we've seen him do on grass before. And Darren Cahill, I listened to him a couple days ago talking a little bit about what happened with Sinner. I think I already mentioned this earlier, but Darren Cahill was basically saying Jannik Sinner or whatever. He didn't go into details, but whatever was bothering him, he said it was the kind of thing where they could have just took a day off and come back the next day. Sinner would have done a lot better, and he would have been very confident in his abilities to win. He didn't say beat Medvedev, but he did give Medvedev a lot of credit. But another thing he said in that same segment I saw on ESPN's Wimbledon coverage, Darren Cahill pointed out that for years we've seen the big three especially, but we've seen guys survive, go back to any generation, favorites. We've seen them survive tough matches. And, aside from Roger Federer in 2017 at the Australian Open, he's special. But aside from him, typically, if you have a bunch of 5-set matches, that's not going to work out, right? You're going to get too worn out. And, Alcaraz has had some, but not too many, obviously. And he got through the last match in 4 sets. So as long as you don't completely wear yourself out physically with a ton of long, very physical matches, you, especially top players, big three players, the big three obviously, and then Alcaraz, who is kind of, following that career trajectory. He's following that career path for sure to be a legendary big three style player. Maybe he won't be that great, but he's definitely got a shot to get double-digit majors. Let's just say that, all right? Everyone can agree on that. But yeah, so Alcaraz definitely following that career path. I think it's a great point that Cahill made, right? You can survive these and then show up and play your very best in the semifinals and the finals and still win the thing. We've seen the greats do it for over the years, and Alcaraz has proven that he has the potential to be truly, truly great. So I will not be surprised at all if he does that. However, Medvedev, I've always liked on grass, and I've been disappointed in the past to see him not go as far as I would have predicted in a draw. But he has gotten more and more comfortable moving on the clay, on the grass. He has a better idea of what he needs to do. He's one of the smartest players on tour, and he's got a great serve. Now, we saw Taylor Fritz with a great serve have it neutralized and nullified, and Alcaraz can do that too. He can block his returns if he has to with a big serve on the first serve, just like Musetti was able to do. So it's not going to be enough, but Medvedev pointed out in his presser, he needs some free points. If he's able to hit close to the lines with really big first serves and they go in a lot, he's going to have less problems to worry about, is how he put it. And that's very true. Alcaraz not serving as well. Alcaraz really not doing anything as well as he did last year at Wimbledon and at Queen's Club. But maybe, as Darren Cahill pointed out, maybe this is the time where he's going to be able to turn around and do his very best and show us how great he is. And if he can do that, I think he can definitely beat Djokovic in the final. But they always say it's hard to beat a great player twice. And you better believe, hit the music, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, I've been working a lot this week, and I've got to get up early to do more. I've got to watch as much tennis as I can and go run a tennis camp. Come back, watch what tennis I missed in the Djokovic match, and then do some more tennis lessons, and then hopefully do a Beer Hall Freitag with you guys, but that might turn into a Beer Hall Zamstag. The band is playing on Saturday, so I guess I can drink some beers, Beer Hall beers right here on the show before I head over and do that, right? You can drink beers and do music. They go hand in hand. Anyways, where was I? I'm so tired. I don't even remember what the hell I was saying. Oh, it's going to be so hard to beat him twice in the finals. But that meniscus, it makes me wonder, in a final, you get pushed really hard to 5 sets. Is Djokovic going to be able to still perform at the level he expects out of himself deep in the 5th set? And as Alex Nullia pointed out in his comment that we talked about earlier in the show, Medvedev can do the same thing. I think Medvedev could wear Djokovic out in a really long final, and so could Alcaraz. Alcaraz, you can see how he won the French Open this year when he's had some struggles. For him, he would have expected to have a better year this year, but obviously he made it all better when he got that French Open. And to me, Alcaraz is always, I've seen it throughout this year when he's had bad results. Sometimes it reminds me of Federer, where he just has too much talent and too many options, and it's like he doesn't know what to do. He hits the drop shot too many times, and when it's not working sometimes. When he lost that first set to Tommy Paul, it looked like, hey, he's hitting the drop shot, and it's not going as well as it usually does. But in the end, he was able to make good on that. Medvedev is going to be a lot tougher than Tommy Paul, I think. And Djokovic obviously will be a lot tougher than both of them, meniscus surgery or not. Why he did so well at the French Open, I always think that a way he can kind of default into is kind of like a Rafa style. Just rely on young Rafa, rely on that incredible movement, And, the serve is not as important at French Open as it is at Wimbledon. So I think Alcaraz is going to have to serve better like he was doing last year at Wimbledon. And I think he did so well at the French Open because, he can always default into that Rafa mode where he's just moving great, getting every ball, making people play an extra ball, and doing a lot of damage with his forehand, right? He's got maybe the best forehand on tour now. Alcaraz does, definitely up there as one of the very best forehands on tour. He needs the other parts of his game. He needs them to work here at Wimbledon to win. He can't just rely on the movement and the ground strokes and the drop shot like he could at the French Open. He's going to have to return well. He's going to have to serve well. He's going to have to be able to come into the net, and that's something we've seen Medvedev doing now, getting better and better and more comfortable at that. So we're going to get out of here. I'm going to give you my predictions. Djokovic wins in 3 sets against Musetti. I hope I don't regret that, but I think just like, Holger Rune, you would have thought like, Holger Rune, he's getting more comfortable on grass. He's so young and talented. And Djokovic twerked him, as they say. And I think, Musetti, it's been a great run. It's great that he turned his year around, but it's coming to an end tomorrow thanks to Novak Djokovic. And Alcaraz, I'm going to go with Alcaraz in 5 sets again. It's so hard to pick that match. I was wrong with Tommy Paul. I said it would be in 5. He got him in 4. Maybe I'll be wrong that way tomorrow, but I think Medvedev is going to be very tricky, and Alcaraz is going to have to find his best stuff. It might take him a little while, but I think he's going to do it in 5, and then after that's over, we'll talk about the finals. See ya!